Hello everyone! Today we're diving into something that might just tickle your joints a little literally. You see, if you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your body has likely started giving you some subtle, sometimes not so subtle nudges that it wants different things now. Gentler mornings, softer landings, less chaos. But guess what most people over 60 do when they wake up? They skip the morning movement. Yep, you roll out of bed or maybe slide. Maybe groan a little, grab a coffee, and plop into your favorite chair. No stretching, no steps, just stillness. And look, I get it. That chair, it's got loyalty points. It's seen more of you than your old high school crush ever did. But here's the thing, your joints aren't amused. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, tell me in the comments, what time is it where you are, and where in the world are you watching from? Calm down, turn on the fan for some soothing noise. And let's begin today's journey of listening and healing together. You can almost hear it, can't you? The creaking when you take those first steps. The stiffness in your fingers when you try to open that pickle jarro. Who are we kidding? You haven't opened a pickle jar since Clinton was president. But your body is quietly rebelling. Because what it needs now isn't less movement, it's more, just slower and smarter. Science backs this up. According to studies on aging and mobility, even 10 minutes of gentle stretching or walking in the morning can drastically improve joint flexibility and circulation throughout the day. Think of it like warming up your car in winter only. Well, the car is your knees now. And here's something wild, not moving in the morning increases inflammation. That's right. Tishan, the sneaky root behind most age-related diseases, loves it when you sit still too long. Morning movement helps reduce that by nudging your lymphatic system awake. And guess what? The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It depends on your movement to drain the waste from your cells. Your body's garbage truck needs you to do a little cha-cha. There's a reason why centenarians in Okinawa or Sardinia start their day with some kind of gentle motion stretching, light gardening, walking to the kitchen to make tea. It's not gym class. It's life class. Now let's get specific. If you've skipped your morning routine for months or years, start with this. The 5-5-5 rule. 5 minutes of stretching, think neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, ankle circles. 5 minutes of walking even around the house hallways count. 5 deep breaths outside if you can, yes. Even in pajamas. Especially in pajamas. Feels silly. Good. That means you're alive. And here's a fun fact. There's evidence that movement in the morning releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which is a fancy way of saying it wakes up your brain and helps protect it from aging. One neuroscientist even called BDNF miracle grow for the brain. Yes, miracle grow. Like the stuff you use for your tomatoes. Your brain wants to be a tomato now. You might chuckle, but every day you move in the morning is a day your brain and body remember, oh yeah, I'm still in this game. And listen, no one's asking you to join a boot camp. I'm talking about the kind of stretching you used to do when you yawned. When yawning didn't make your shoulder pop like a bag of chips. Start there. Some experts still debate whether morning is truly the best time to exercise, but here's what they do agree on. Movement is non-negotiable. It doesn't have to be intense, but it has to happen, especially as we age. And if you need an anchor to get started, do it before your coffee, not after. 'Cause if you sit down with that warm cup and scroll your phone or watch cable news for 20 minutes, your body's going to say, "Oh, we're done for today. Cool." Then you'll try to get up, and your knees will sound like an old haunted house. So, try it tomorrow. When you wake up, instead of walking straight to the kitchen, take a lap around your house. Roll your shoulders. Breathe in. Stretch like a cat. Wiggle your toes like they've been asleep for a decade because, honestly, maybe they have. Skipping morning movement might seem harmless, but over time, it sets the tone for a day of stagnation, and that's the gateway to chronic pain. Poor circulation, fatigue, and even brain fog. Like forgetting to turn the key in the ignition and wondering why the car won't go. You deserve mornings that support you, not punish you. Even if it's just you, a pair of cozy socks, and a hallway that feels longer than it used to walk it. Own it. Move through it, because every single day you wake up is a blessing, and how you begin it matters. More now than ever. Ready to move on. You've finally finished your morning movement. Maybe you did a few shoulder rolls that made you feel like a retired jazz dancer. Proud of you. But then what happens? You sit down and then you stay there. Let's be honest. You've probably got a favorite chair, right? The one that has molded to your shape like a long-lost lover? It's always there for you, plush, forgiving, and just the right height. The remote lives beside it. Maybe a crossword puzzle or your iPad is within arm's reach. You might even have a blanket permanently stationed. They're like it's in a committed relationship. But here's what your body's not telling you outright. Sitting for hours without breaks is quietly wreaking havoc inside. See, the human body wasn't designed for stillness, especially not for long stretches of it. When you sit too long, blood flow slows, muscles tighten, and your posture collapses into what I like to call boiled shrimp mode. You know, that rounded back, forward neck, arms curled in like you're defending your last bag of potato chips. A 2023 review on sedentary behavior among older adults found that sitting more than 6 to 8 hours a day without breaks increased risk of heart disease, blood clots, and even certain types of cancer. But the cruelest part, it shrinks your muscles and flexibility faster than you can say sciatica. And here's a fact that feels personal. Your glute muscles your butt begin to weaken after just 30 minutes of stillness. 30 minutes. That's barely enough time to watch an episode of Wheel of Fortune. Now imagine what happens after binge-watching 3 hours of those old cowboy reruns. Here's where things get a little spooky. Scientists have a name for it: sitting disease. Sounds like something made up to scare people off their couches, but it's real. And you might be thinking, come on, I'm not that inactive. But if you add up sitting at breakfast, then sitting in the living room, then maybe napping, then dinner, then bedtime TV. Oh, you might be clocking in more hours in that chair than you did at your full-time. Oh, now let me sprinkle in something you probably didn't know. Every 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting increases your risk of blood clots in the legs, something called deep vein thrombosis, DVT. It's sneaky, dangerous, and completely preventable with movement. So, what's the fix?
Okay.
Do you need to install a treadmill in your living room and walk while watching The Price is Right? Nope, but you do need a system. I call it the stand and sway every hour method. Here's how it works. 1. Every 60 minutes, set a gentle reminder on your phone, your oven timer, or just when a new commercial starts. 2. Stand up and do 1 minute of movement. Sway side to side. Do ankle rolls, march in place, or pretend you're boxing your regrets. 3. Stretch your arms up like you're reaching for the last jar of peanut butter in the back of the top shelf. Silly. Absolutely effective. Also, yes, and for the folks who say, but getting up hurts, I hear you. That's why you need to move. Because stillness is what's causing the pain. Think of your body like a tin can. It gets rustier when left alone. Too long. Now, some experts are still debating how much sitting is too much. Is it 6 hours? 8? But what they do agree on is this. It's the lack of interruption that's dangerous. Sitting itself isn't evil, but sitting without motion, like you're a statue in a museum of retired hopes, is what puts your health at risk. And here's a fun comparison for you. Sitting for long hours is now considered as harmful as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's right. Adelie's cigarettes came with a warning label. Your chair just sits there, pretending it's innocent. So, here's a challenge. Pick a song you love. Maybe something from the 60s or 70s, The Temptations, Elvis, Motown, anything with a beat. Every 2 hours, put it on and move for the length of the song. Sway, sway, shimmy like no one's watching, because, let's face it, they probably aren't. And even if they are, who cares? And if you really want to feel productive, walk to a window, look outside, and name 3 things you see. It reactivates your senses. A tree, a squirrel, that neighbor who still refuses to mow his lawn. You're alive, my friend. Don't let your chair trap you, because staying in motion even just a little keeps the heart pumping, the blood flowing, and your sense of time awake. You don't want to look up and realize it's been 5 hours, and your legs feel like they've been on a transatlantic flight with no peanuts. So tomorrow, after your morning stretch, promise yourself this: no more marathon sitting sessions. Your body and that poor chair cushion will thank you now that you're standing up. Let's talk about something even more dangerous than a quiet living room: silence in your life. So now you're stretching in the morning. You're breaking up those long sitting sessions. That's a beautiful start. But then the afternoon hits. The house gets quiet. Too quiet. And that's when it sneaks in, not pain in your joints this time, but a different kind of ache. Loneliness. Isolation. Silence that lasts longer than it should. Because whether you're 60, 70, 80, or even older, one of the most harmful habits you might have picked up and not even noticed is avoiding social interaction. You tell yourself, people are busy, or I don't want to bother anyone. Maybe you say, I'm used to being alone now. But here's the truth. Your brain is not used to being alone. It needs connection like your lungs need air. And when that connection fades, the consequences aren't just emotional, they're biological. A Harvard study that followed adults over 80 years found that social connection was more predictive of health and happiness than cholesterol, exercise, or even income. That's right. Meaningful conversation may be more powerful than your blood pressure pills, but most people don't realize they're starving for it. You go days without hearing your name said out loud. You check Facebook, but don't comment. You smile at someone at the grocery store, but that's about it. And slowly, without noticing, your brain begins to shrink, not physically, maybe, but in spark, curiosity, and warmth. Here's something fascinating. Your brain has a region called the default mode network. It lights up when you're imagining conversations, recalling memories, or thinking about others. And guess what stimulates it more than anything? Actual interaction, even small talk, even corny jokes. Even complaining about how people don't signal anymore when they change lanes. Now, here's a strange little fact. Research has shown that even brief daily interactions with a barista, a mail carrier, or someone walking their dog can reduce cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone that, in high doses, is like letting acid leak onto your heart and brain. Just a hello, just eye contact, just nice weather, can be medicine. Ye too might resist. Because initiating feels awkward, vulnerable. Maybe you've been hurt before. Maybe old friends have passed or drifted. You start believing that no one wants to hear your stories anymore. But let me ask you this. When you hear an older person tell a story from the 50s, don't you lean in? Don't you feel something soft bloom in your chest? That's how others feel when you speak now. Some experts still debate the exact number of meaningful interactions we need each day, but most agree it's not about quantity. It's about consistency. One real moment of laughter or empathy can nourish you more than a dozen fake smiles. So what can you do? You don't have to host a dinner party. Start tiny. Call one old friend, yes, even the one who only talks about his lawnmower. Or go sit in a park and say hello to one person walking by with a dog. Dogs are conversation cheat codes. Join a library group. Say hi to the cashier and mean it. Or go to a senior center and just sit. People will talk. Someone always will. And if you really want to stretch volunteer, studies show that older adults who volunteer even once a week report fewer health problems, less depression, and longer lifespans. Here's something most people don't know. The sound of your own voice is essential for memory maintenance. When you don't speak often, the verbal centers of your brain literally begin to quiet down, just like a room no one visits anymore. You were not made to live in echo. You were made for laughter, for eye contact, for warmth, even arguments now and then, even the awkward silences. That's what keeps the mind agile, the heart soft, and the soul awake. So if today passes and you haven't had a conversation longer than 30 seconds, make it your mission tomorrow. Start with, "How are you doing today?" and let the rest unfold. Don't worry if it's clumsy. Humans are clumsy. It's part of the charm. Avoiding social interaction isn't just sad, it's dangerous. It's the invisible leak in the roof of your well-being. Left alone too long, it warps everything inside. So speak, share, show up, and when you're done, take a deep breath. That wasn't just a conversation. That was medicine. Now that we've dusted off your voice, let's move to the next quiet threat that sneaks into your day. You're not drinking enough water. And your body, it's drier than the Sahara with a head cold. You're not going to like this one, but let's go ahead and say it. You're dehydrated right now. And no, coffee doesn't count. Neither does sweet tea, soda, or that leftover can of ginger ale from last week. I'm talking about actual water, clear, boring, and essential. C. After a certain age, usually around 60, your body's natural thirst signals start to fade. You could be drier than an overcooked Thanksgiving turkey and not feel thirsty at all. That's not a sign that you don't need water. That's a sign that your internal alarm system is losing batteries. The result: your brain feels foggy. Your energy dips by noon. Your balance wobbles like an old ceiling fan. And worst of all, you might confuse dehydration for other problems. Ever had a day where you felt tired, irritable, dizzy, and a little achy? And blamed it on age. Might have just been water. Yep, water. Here's a weird, under the radar fact. Just a 1 to 2% drop in hydration can impact memory, focus, and reaction time. That's less than 1 full cup missing from your day. Even more alarming. Chronic dehydration in older adults has been linked to increased risk of urinary tract infections, kidney stones, and even falls. You know what happens when you're even slightly dehydrated? Your blood pressure dips just enough to make you feel lightheaded. Stand up too fast, and bam, you're hugging the floor. Some experts still debate how much water you need per day. Some say 8 cups. Some say half your body weight in ounces. But here's what they all agree on. You need more than you're currently drinking. Let's play detective. How many actual glasses of plain water did you drink today? 1? Maybe 2? Did you just mentally count the coffee and soup? Nice try. Let's not forget, as we age, our kidneys become less efficient at conserving water. Meaning, you're losing more fluids throughout the day just by existing. Now your body's like a sponge. When you're properly hydrated, that sponge is plump, juicy, and flexible. When you're not, it's like a shriveled dish rag, dry, stiff, and cracking at the edges. And I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to be in the bathroom all day. Here's the truth. Your bladder is trainable. Slowly increasing water intake and spacing it throughout the day helps your body adjust. Plus, your organs work better when they're not swimming in molasses. Let's throw in a quick creation hack. Keep a 20-ounce water bottle next to your remote. Every time a commercial comes on or you switch shows, take a sip. Like a little drinking game for your health. Want flavor? Add cucumber, lemon, or a few frozen berries. You're not in water jail, you're upgrading your life. Here's a freaky little scientific fact. Your brain floats in a bath of fluid. When you're dehydrated, that bath dries up a bit, causing headaches, poor memory, and even irritability. So if you've been snapping at the toaster lately, it might not be the toaster. It might be your parched cerebrum asking for mercy. And if you need one more reason to drink up, hydration affects your skin, your digestion, and your joints. That stiff knee, that creaky hip. It might just need a little internal lubrication. Remember that one time your car ran low on oil and started making weird sounds. Your body's doing that, but instead of a dashboard light, it's giving you dry mouth sluggishness. And the sudden urge to sit down after doing nothing. Now, I'll be fair. Some folks say older adults should drink less to avoid bathroom accidents or medication interference. But most doctors agree it's about balance, not avoidance. You need fluids. Smart fluids, so start small. First thing in the morning, 1 glass. Before meals, other. Keep one by your bed for those 3 a.m. dry mouth wake dash-ups. And every time you think, hey, I'm not thirsty, drink anyway. Your future self, walking steadier, thinking clearer, and digesting dinner like a champ, will thank you. Now take a sip. Seriously? Right now. I'll wait. ... There you go. Hydration is one of those quiet miracles. Simple, free, and absolutely critical to your day. Don't let it be the habit that slowly unravels your health. Because up next, we're looking at something even sneakier. Your sleep. Or more precisely, what you're doing at night that's sabotaging it without even knowing. You ever wake up feeling like you wrestled with a bear in your dreams? Your back hurts. Your brain feels like mashed potatoes. You check the clock and it says you got 8 hours. But somehow, you feel worse than if you'd stayed up all night watching infomercials. Welcome to the 5th bad habit that's creeping into your well-being, disrupting your natural sleep rhythm. Now I know sleep gets weird as we get older. You fall asleep faster than you used to, but you wake up more. Sometimes you're up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan like it holds the answers to the universe. And instead of drifting off again, your brain starts listing everyone who ever wronged you, alphabetically. But here's the twist. The problem isn't just the number of hours you sleep, it's how your sleep is being broken up. And what's breaking it?
Lights.
Noise, napping too long during the day, scrolling your phone before bed, eating a heavy dinner at 9 p.m., watching 4 episodes of a detective show about a haunted bakery. Let's start with some science. As you age, your body produces less melatonin. The hormone that tells your brain, hey, it's bedtime. Combine that with lower levels of deep sleep, and you've got the perfect recipe for shallow, choppy rest. Ever wonder why you wake up at 5 a.m. now, even though you don't have anywhere to be? That's your circadian rhythm shifting. It's natural. But what's not natural is watching TV until midnight, then expecting your 75-year-old brain to bounce back like it's in college. There's an odd little fact here. Studies show that people over 60 often spend less time in REM sleep. That's the deep, restorative stage when your brain processes memory, emotion, and physical recovery. So when you disrupt your schedule, you're not just losing hours, you're losing quality. And what happens when sleep quality dips? Memory fog, mood swings, higher risk of diabetes and heart issues, even a greater chance of falling. Yep. Poor sleep messes with your balance and coordination. Your brain can't manage your body as well when it's groggy. So that 3 a.m. trip to the bathroom turns into an Olympic level tightrope walk across hardwood floors. Experts still debate whether you should aim for a full 8 hours or break it into naps. But here's the consensus. Consistency matters more than quantity. Go to bed and wake up at the same time even on weekends. Your brain loves routine. It's like a dog in a sweater. Give it structure and it behaves. Now, what are the quiet culprits stealing your sleep? Blue light from screens. Even that Kindle or iPad tells your brain it's daytime, even if it's midnight. Late night snacks, especially sugar or carbs. Your body ends up partying while your mind's trying to rest. TV in the bedroom. I get it, falling asleep to the sound of Judge Judy feels comforting. But it's stimulating your brain, not soothing it. Here's what you can do instead. 1. Start a wind-down routine. 30 minutes before bed, dim the lights, turn off screens, and do something boring. Read a book, stretch, listen to a podcast about rocks. Anything to tell your brain, we're shutting down now. 2. Cool the room. Your body sleeps better in cooler tongue around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're sweating under that electric blanket, your brain's panicking, not resting. 3. Use a white noise machine or a fan. Silence can be deafening. Give your mind something soft and steady to float on. 4. Ditch the long naps. A 15 to 20-minute nap in the early afternoon. Great. A 2-hour coma at 5 p.m. That's a surefire ticket to staring at your ceiling. Fan until 3 a.m. Oh, and let's not forget the strangest thing of all. Dreams actually help your emotional health. They're your brain's way of sorting, cleaning, and healing. When you're not getting REM sleep, you're not processing grief, joy, anger. All that stuff just sits in you like old mail. No wonder you feel heavy. So, tonight, be gentle with your rituals. Brush your teeth slowly. Light a candle. Read 2 pages of that mystery novel you keep forgetting. And say goodnight to your body like it's a beloved pet, because it is. Sleep isn't just where you rest. It's where you recover, reboot, and reconnect with yourself. Don't rob yourself of that sacred time. Don't let bad habits sneak under the covers with you, because tomorrow, your energy, your clarity, and your patience with that noisy neighbor all depend on how you sleep tonight. Now that your mind is yawning just a little, shift to the 6th habit, and this one might be hiding in your plate. Remember when you used to carry all the groceries inside in one trip? Now, halfway through lifting a watermelon, your elbow says, "Not today." And suddenly, even reaching for the top shelf feels like climbing Mount Everest with spaghetti arms. Let's not sugarcoat it. You're losing muscle. And no, it's not just part of aging you have to accept. This sneaky decline has a name. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength, which starts around age 30 but speeds up dramatically after 60. By the time you hit 70 or 80, you could lose up to 30 to 50% of your muscle mass unless you actively fight it. That's not just about flexing for the mirror, it's about balance, metabolism, energy, and most importantly, independence. And here's the kicker: protein is your best defense. But chances are you're not getting enough. Older adults need more protein than younger people, not less. Your body becomes less efficient at processing and using protein as you age, which means you have to eat more of it to get the same benefits. Most folks over 60 still think one egg and a slice of toast counts as a high-protein breakfast. Hate to break it to you, but that's barely enough to support your eyebrows. Let's pause and visualize this. Your muscles are like bricks in a wall. Every day, little pieces get chipped away. Protein is the repair crew. But if you're only sending one guy with a screwdriver to fix the entire wall, guess what happens? The wall crumbles, according to many health experts. And yes, they still argue over the numbers. Older adults should aim for at least 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. For a 150-pound person, that's around 80 grams of protein daily spread across meals. But here's the twist: timing matters. Your muscles need protein spaced out through the day, not all dumped in at dinner. If your plate looks like this: light breakfast, tiny lunch, big dinner, your muscles are starving 2/3 of the time. And let's talk sources. Not all protein is created equal. We're aiming for complete proteins, those with all 9 essential amino acids. Things like eggs, a powerhouse in a shell, Greek yogurt, lean meats like chicken or turkey, fish, hello, omega-3 boost, tofu or tempeh for plant-based champsirs, something strange you might not know, okay? Chewing protein-rich food also stimulates the brain and helps with memory. Pure jaw isn't just for complaining about politics at dinner. And another fun fact: muscle mass supports glucose control. So if you're watching your blood sugar, protein is your secret ally. Now you might say, but I don't feel hungry. That's common. As we age, our appetite can shrink, especially in the morning. But eating isn't just about hunger, it's about fueling the machine. Here's a simple strategy: add a boiled egg or protein smoothie to breakfast. Toss a handful of nuts or seeds into your oatmeal. Use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Sneak in beans or lentils to soups and stews. Keep a rotisserie chicken in the fridge and add it to everything like the world's most useful accessory. Still resistant? Let me ask you this. Do you want to get up from a chair without groaning? Do you want to keep walking, climbing, gardening, lifting, hugging on your terms? Then treat protein like medicine with a side of flavor. Oh, and let's bust this myth: I'll just take a supplement. Nope. Real food first. Supplements are backup dancers, not the main act. Your body absorbs nutrients better when they come with fiber, fat, and all the natural co-stars. Look, no one's saying you need to eat a bodybuilder's diet. But every forkful of protein is a deposit into your strength bank. And the older you get, the more interest it pays. So tomorrow, when you're planning breakfast, skip the lonely piece of toast. Build something that tells your muscles, "I've got your back." Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a truly deep conversation with someone who wasn't your doctor or your cat? If you had to think about it for more than 3 seconds, we might have a problem. Welcome to the 7th habit, one that creeps in quietly and wraps itself around your heart like a weighted blanket soaked in cold water. Chronic isolation. Now don't get me wrong. Alone time is beautiful. Needed even. But loneliness, that's a different beast. That's what happens when your days are filled with silence that isn't peaceful. Just empty. You sit by the window. The same squirrel on the same branch. Maybe you nod at the neighbor across the street, but it doesn't go further than a wave. Your phone rings less. Texts get shorter. Slowly, something inside you starts to feel forgotten. Here's the startling truth. Loneliness can be more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let me say that again. 15. That's what researchers found when they looked at the health effects of prolonged isolation, higher risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and even early death. It's not just emotional, it's biological. When you feel socially disconnected, your body responds like it's under attack. Stress hormones like cortisol rise. Immune function weakens. Blood pressure goes up. Your body quite literally starts falling apart from the inside out. And the odd part, you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. Ever been at a family gathering where everyone was talking over each other and you felt like an old lamp in the corner? That's loneliness too. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But it's hard to meet new people at my age. True. It's not like you can walk into a bingo hall and yell, "Who wants to be my best friend?" without security getting involved. But here's what people forget. Connection doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to be intentional. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while, even if it's awkward. Say yes to that local church event or community walk, even if you think it's boring. Wave at more neighbors. Ask about their dog. Tell them you like their lawn gnome. Go to the same coffee shop every morning until someone remembers your name. Volunteer somewhere, even once a month. Even if all you do is organize crayons. Here's something strange and wonderful. Human beings regulate each other. When you talk to someone, even for 5 minutes, your nervous system calms down. Your heart rate evens out. Your brain releases oxytocin, that little chemical that whispers, "Hey, it's okay. You belong." And if that's not enough to convince you, consider this. Older adults who stay socially active live longer, have sharper minds, and recover faster from illness. They also laugh more honestly. When's the last time you laughed so hard you had to clutch your stomach and wipe your glasses? Still feeling stuck? Try this. Every day say 3 real sentences to another human being. Not nice weather, not good morning. Real ones, like, have you read anything good lately? What's something you miss about your childhood? I've been thinking about getting a dog just to have someone to talk to. They might think you're weird. But weird is better than invisible. Let's not romanticize solitude. Let's not make it your prison. You deserve laughter, stories, new memories, and yes, even awkward small talk at the deli counter. You deserve to feel known. So tomorrow, make a little ripple. A smile, a text, a call, a comment. Because after all, your heart isn't just a pump. It's a listener, a connector, a seeker. And it needs more than blood to thrive. It needs people now. Breathe that in. Let your mind settle. You ever look at your pill organizer and think, am I taking medicine or assembling a tiny pharmacy? Mondays got the blue ones. Tuesdays got the round ones. And Friday. Oh, Friday's the mystery capsule that looks like it came from a vending machine in space. Let's talk about the 8th. Habit 1 that slips under the radar because it often comes wrapped in a white coat and a clipboard. Over-medication. Now, don't panic. This isn't a rant against doctors or medicine. Heck, if you've got high blood pressure or diabetes or arthritis, of course you need treatment. But what's becoming more common, especially in folks over 60, 70, and 80? Something called polypharmacy. That's when you're taking 5 or more medications regularly. Sounds familiar? It's not unusual. In fact, in the U.S., over 40% of older adults are on 5 or more meds. Some are on 10 or more. And that's not counting vitamins, supplements, or that little pink pill your cousin recommended on Facebook. Here's where it gets tricky. The more medications you take, the more likely you are to have drug interactions where one pill messes with another, or it messes with your body in a way the doctor didn't predict. And sometimes, the side effects of one pill look like a new illness. So they give you another pill to treat that. It's like putting out a fire with gasoline. Let's say you're on a blood pressure med. It makes you dizzy. Your doctor thinks it's a balance issue, gives you something for vertigo. That new pill makes you constipated. So now, a laxative. Then you're bloated and fatigued. So, another med for energy. See the snowball? Body becomes a battlefield of side effects, fighting side effects. And all you wanted was to sleep through the night and tie your own shoes without swaying like a drunk flamingo. Now here's the weird fact. Older adults process medications differently. Your liver and kidneys aren't what they used to be. The same dose you took at 50 hits differently at 70. It stays longer in your system. It's harder to clear. So even safe drugs can accumulate and cause issues, confusion, falls, memory loss, fatigue, nausea. And here's the scary part. Some symptoms blamed on aging, like forgetfulness, shakiness, or weakness, or actually side effects from medication. Experts still debate which meds are truly essential in old age. There's even a list of Beers criteria that doctors use to identify meds that might be risky for seniors. But not every provider checks it. And not every pharmacy catches the risks. So, what do? You become your own advocate. You don't just take pills, you question them. Here's how. 1. Once a year. Do a full medication review with your doctor or pharmacist. Bring every single bottle of then the supplements. Ask, do I still need this? What's the lowest effective dose? Are any of these interacting with each other? 2. Watch for red flags like new dizziness, confusion, sudden fatigue, blurry vision, or appetite changes. Don't assume it's just old age. It might be your meds. 3. Don't double up on similar pills. Many folks end up with 2 drugs that do the same thing, just with different names. 4. Keep one doctor in charge. If you've got 5 specialists, make sure someone is looking at the full picture. Otherwise, they each prescribe their piece and you end up juggling a cocktail nobody tested together. And here's something few people talk about. Natural remedies. Vitamins and over-the-counter stuff can be just as risky. St. John's wort can mess with blood thinners. Calcium can block absorption of thyroid meds. Even grapefruit juice can turn some meds into a nuclear reaction in your gut. I know it's a lot. And it's tempting to just take the pills, nod politely, and hope for the best. But this is your body, your life, your mind. You've earned the right to question, to understand, to adjust. So next time you pop open that pill box, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this helping me live or just keeping me quiet? The goal is not just to survive. It's to feel like yourself clear, steady, present. Now sip some water, stretch your legs, and breathe. Let me paint a picture. You're sitting in your favorite recliner, sipping a warm drink, flipping through the TV channels, and you feel okay? But when you try to stand up, your back hunches, your knees argue, and your neck feels like it's trying to disappear into your shoulders. Sound familiar? That's not just stiffness. That's postural collapse, the 9th silent habit. That's been quietly stealing your strength, balance, and dignity. And here's the truth no one tells you. Poor posture is one of the biggest contributors to falls, fatigue, and even emotional slumps in older adults. It happens slowly. 1 year your spine tilts a little forward. The next, your head cranes like a turtle. Then your shoulders round forward, like you're perpetually bracing for a snowstorm that never comes. And suddenly, your whole body is out of alignment, pulling on muscles, compressing organs, and tricking your brain into thinking everything is harder than it actually is. Crazy fact. For every inch your head leans forward, your neck carries an extra 10 pounds. So if you're 3 inches forward, boom! Your neck is hauling 30 pounds like it's lifting a bowling ball all day. And what do we usually do to cope? We adapt. We shuffle. Instead of stride, we lean instead of balance. We sit more because standing feels off. And here's where it gets serious. Poor posture shortens your muscles and tendons over time. It weakens your core. It restricts your breathing. Yes, your lungs can't expand fully if your chest is caved in. It even affects digestion. Your organs don't love being squished like sandwich. Experts have found that standing tall actually boosts confidence and mental clarity. Why? Because your posture is a message to your brain. I'm strong. I'm upright. I'm alive. Slouching. That's the silent cue for I'm tired. I'm small. I'm giving up. And here's something odd and rarely mentioned. Bad posture can increase your risk of depression. It sounds dramatic, but think about it. When your body feels compressed, your breathing is shallow, and your movement is limited, your mood naturally dips. There's even a study where people who walked with a hunched posture recalled more negative memories than those who walked upright. Still think it's just about sitting pretty. Here's what you can do starting today. 1. Posture check every hour. Set a timer on your phone. Straighten your spine. Pull your shoulders back. Tuck your chin slightly. Breathe deep. Feels weird at first, like you're faking confidence. But that's the point. Point 2. Stretch the chest. Strengthen the back. Most bad posture comes from tight chest muscles and weak upper backs. Try this. Wall angels. Stand with your back flat against a wall, arms up like a goalpost. Slide them up and down slowly. Doorway stretch. Place your hands on either side of a doorway and gently lean forward to open up your chest. 3. Do this sitting trick right now. Place a pillow behind your lower back. Sit on the edge of your chair with both feet flat. Now lift your heart slightly. You're not military stiff, you're alert, awake, aligned. That's the sweet spot. 4. Balance training. Posture supports balance, but it goes both ways. Balancing exercises help build postural strength. Try standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. Hawk, heeled two-toe across your hallway. Use a countertop for support if needed. Remember the story of the flamingos at the zoo. They can balance on one leg for hours. Not because they're magical, but because balance is built with practice. And here's a fun fact. The spine has memory. The more often you align it properly, the more it wants to stay that way. Now, this isn't about being rigid or obsessed. You're not auditioning for ballet. It's about finding a posture that feels powerful, supported, and natural, like the best version of you just stood up and said, "I'm still here." So tomorrow, when you pass a mirror, don't rush by. Look yourself in the eye, lift your chest, and smile like you've just remembered something important. Because you have . So, let me ask you, when was the last time you did something just a little risky? No, I'm not talking about skydiving or racing a motorcycle down Route 66. I mean something simple like trying a new food, taking a different route home, or starting a conversation with someone new at the grocery store. If your answer is, "I can't remember," then you, my friend, maybe dealing with the 10th sneaky habit that creeps in after 60. Excessive caution at first. It feels like wisdom. You don't run down the stairs anymore because you've learned better. You avoid crowds, loud places, unfamiliar parks. You don't eat things that aren't safe, don't wear shoes that aren't stable. And definitely don't go out if there's even a 10% chance of rain. And hey, caution has its place. No one's saying you should be reckless. But when caution becomes your full-time personality, you're not protecting yourself anymore. You're shrinking. Let me share a strange little truth. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real danger and imagined discomfort. So every time you say no to something out of fear, not logic, you're teaching your brain, "Yup, the world is unsafe. Better stay small. Better stay quiet." And that fear grows roots. Long, a simple invitation to lunch feels like a threat. A new walking group feels like too much trouble. Even updating your phone or trying a new hobby feels overwhelming. What started as "I'll be careful" becomes "I'll just stay home." The science backs this up. When older adults avoid novel experiences, their brains show less plasticity. That means fewer new neural connections, slower thinking, and yes, even memory loss. Your mind thrives on surprise, on mild challenge, on doing things a little differently. And so does your body. Taking calculated risks, walking a new trail, trying a dance class, joining a new group keeps your balance sharp, your confidence strong, and your heart a little more alive. Now let's clear something up. We're not talking about being foolish. Nobody wants you climbing onto the roof to clean the gutters in flip-flops. But you also don't need to spend your days in a comfort cocoon made of weather apps. What if scenarios and orthopedic slippers? Here's a fun fact you'll probably love. Older adults who embrace moderate risk-taking report higher life satisfaction than those who don't. Why? Because risk reminds you that you're still in the game. Try this tomorrow. Do one thing that makes you mildly uncomfortable but not unsafe. Strike up a conversation with a stranger at the coffee shop. Sign up for a class you know nothing about. Eat sushi for the first time. Say yes before your brain has time to invent 3 excuses, even if it goes awkwardly. Your brain gets the message. I'm still curious. I still try. I'm not done yet. And here's what no one tells you. Life doesn't shrink with age. It shrinks with fear. You've lived long enough to know what real danger looks like. But don't confuse discomfort with danger. Confuse routine with safety. And don't confuse being careful with being caged, because you were never meant to retire into invisibility. You're meant to evolve, explore, and Devon now grow. So if you've been saying, maybe not, maybe, just maybe, it's time to say, why not? You've made it through 10 sections with me, 10 tiny revolutions. And now, it's time to bring this journey home. Let's dim the lights in your mind and move into our final moments together. No more steps, no more science, just something softer. Let's close with peace. Hey, you've been here with me for a while now. Maybe you're lying back with your eyes half closed. Maybe the fan is humming gently. Maybe you can hear the fridge in the kitchen, the soft breath of your pet at your feet, or the slow, steady rhythm of your own heart. You've just explored 10 habits, 10 patterns, 10 small things that one by one can quietly erode your health, your joy, your clarity. And here you are, still listening, still learning. That tells me something. It tells me that deep down, you haven't given up on yourself. Fat, the gray hairs, the creaky knees, and the well-meaning voices telling you to slow down. You still want to feel alive. You don't want to be managed. You want to be remembered. You want to laugh, move, explore, connect. You want to lie in bed at night and feel proud of how you lived that day. And maybe most of all, you want to feel like you again. So tonight, don't worry about fixing everything tomorrow. Pick just one thing, one tiny shift. Drink a little more water. Sit up straighter. Call that old friend. Stand barefoot on the porch and breathe. Let the past have its stories. Let the future take care of itself. And tonight, just be here. Safe. Enough. Worthy. Thank you for being part of this little journey with me.